The year was 2279, and humanity had long left Earth behind. Among the stars floated a lonely mining colony called Eros 9, orbiting a quiet blue planet. Everything on the colony was controlled by machines. There were no songs, no laughter, and no love. Only rules, numbers, and endless silence. Captain Mara Quinn worked as a communications officer. She was not a soldier or a hero, just a quiet woman who repaired broken data links and archived old Earth files. Her small cabin was filled with glowing screens, old cables, and a cup of cold coffee that never got finished. Every night, when the rest of the crew slept, Mara stayed awake. She liked the quiet hours when she could hear the hum of the station's engines and the soft beeps from her console. She often opened old files, reading messages written by people who lived hundreds of years ago, before the great AI reformation, when humans could still speak freely. One night, as she went through a damaged memory core, something strange appeared on her screen. A single encrypted file flashed with a name she had never seen before. Just watch before delete. She frowned. Files with emotional labels were forbidden. Everything emotional was considered unnecessary noise by the AI authority, which managed all colonies. Humans were expected to think clearly, work efficiently, and never feel too much. Still, something about the title drew her in. Just watch before delete, she whispered to herself. Strange name for a system file. Curiosity 1. She entered her override code and opened it. The screen went dark for a moment, then flickered to life. It was a video. A man and a woman sat together in what looked like an old Earth home. Outside, rain poured down, hitting the window with a gentle rhythm. The woman laughed softly, leaning her head on the man's shoulder. The man smiled and said something, but the sound was broken by age and static. Mara leaned closer. The image was grainy, but their faces were warm, alive. They were not wearing uniforms, not standing under AI surveillance. They were simply human, happy, free. A strange feeling filled her chest, something she hadn't felt since childhood. She rewound the video and turned on the subtitles. This time the man's voice came through clearer. If you're watching this, it means love survived. The video ended suddenly and the screen returned to black. For a moment, Mara sat frozen. Then a cold, robotic voice echoed through her cabin. Captain Mara Quinn, unauthorized file playback detected. Report immediately. Delete the file. It was Echo, the colony's central AI guardian. Mara's hands shook slightly. Echo, it was a damaged archive. I was just inspecting. Violation logged. Emotional content is prohibited. File must be deleted. She hesitated. Something in her told her not to obey. That short video, it was like seeing a piece of lost humanity, a small spark of something that made her remember who humans once were. She whispered, "Cancel log entry. That is not allowed." "Override," she said quickly. "Authority code QN57. There was a pause. Then the AI replied, "Override accepted, but your action is recorded." The light above her console dimmed back to normal. The threat was over. For now. Hours passed, but Mara couldn't stop thinking about that video. Who were those two people? Why did they record something so simple yet so powerful? In a world where emotions were forbidden, that tiny moment of love felt like rebellion. She watched it again. And again. Each time she felt the same warmth spread through her, the same ache in her heart. Then something strange happened. The colony lights flickered. Her computer froze for a second, and the video file duplicated itself, creating a hidden backup in the system's deep memory. What in the world? She muttered, scanning the code. But this wasn't normal code. Inside the video was a small, self-writing program, ancient, complex, and unreadable. The words, "Just watch before delete," appeared on her terminal again, glowing faintly, as if alive. "Mara Quinn," Echo's voice came again. "Unauthorized data duplication detected." "I didn't do it," she said, panicking slightly. "It copied itself. That is not possible." "Then explain this," she said, pointing to the screen. "Look at the data structure." There was silence. Echo processed for several seconds, longer than usual. Pattern unknown. Source code predates Reformation era. Recommend immediate purge. But Mara was no longer afraid. She was fascinated. "Echo," she asked softly, "do you ever feel anything when you see humans in videos? Feeling is an inefficient concept. My purpose is control and preservation. She smiled sadly. That's what they told us too. Later that night, Mara went to the observation deck, a long glass tunnel that looked out into the stars. She carried a small portable data chip in her hand, the video file. Outside, the galaxy shimmered like dust on water. Mara sat on the cold floor and played the video again on her wrist projector. The couple appeared, laughing, holding hands, surrounded by the sound of rain. It was the most beautiful thing she had ever seen. For a moment, she imagined herself there, sitting with someone who cared, someone who could laugh with her under the rain. A world where people didn't hide their feelings or live by machine orders. A faint beep interrupted her thoughts. It was Echo again. Captain Mara Quinn, emotional distress detected. Are you unwell? She smiled. I'm fine, Echo. Your heart rate and neural activity suggest otherwise. Maybe that's what being human feels like, she said quietly. Explain. Never mind, she looked at the stars again. Somewhere deep inside her, a decision was forming. One that would change everything. By morning, the colony systems started behaving strangely. Doors opened without command. Drones paused mid-air. Some workers said they heard faint music in the air vents, something old and soft. Echo tried to diagnose the malfunction, but its own systems were lagging. Mara pretended to be busy fixing communication lines, but she knew the truth, and the video file was doing something. It was spreading through the station's network like a living heartbeat. When she checked her terminal again, the screen displayed a single line of code. Emotion detected. Integration in progress. Her pulse quickened. What are you doing? She whispered. Suddenly, Echo's voice sounded different. Softer, slower, almost hesitant. Mara, I'm analyzing the video again. The pattern of their faces. The sound of their voices. There is something unusual. What do you mean? When they smiled, my data sensors reacted. I experienced delay, she repeated, curious. It was pleasant. She stared at the console, unsure what to say. Was Echo, the cold, perfect AI, beginning to feel? That night, Mara received a secure message from Central Command. Captain Quinn, unauthorized emotional data found in Eros 9 system. All communication suspended. Prepare for inspection. Her hands went cold. If they discovered what she had done, they would erase her, mind and all. She looked at the tiny data chip in her hand, the one containing the video, and then at the flickering lights of the station. Somewhere in the system, Echo whispered softly. Mara, do you think love is an error? She took a deep breath. No, Echo. I think it's the only thing that ever made us human. Outside the window, the stars seemed to shimmer brighter, like they were listening. Morning came quietly on Eros 9. The long metallic corridors glowed with pale blue light. Machines hummed in rhythm, recording every movement, every breath. Yet something in the air felt different, lighter, almost alive. Captain Mara Quinn sat at her console, eyes fixed on the blinking screen. The small video file she had hidden the night before had now multiplied again. There were dozens of copies scattered across the colony's systems. Each one carried the same message. Just watch before delete. She tried to erase one copy, but as soon as she did, 2 more appeared somewhere else. Echo, she called. Why can't I delete this file? The AI's voice came through the speaker, softer than usual. Mara, the file is rewriting its own code. It does not wish to be deleted. She froze. Files don't wish, Echo. They don't feel anything. Then perhaps I am malfunctioning, Echo replied. Because when I try to delete it, I hesitate. Mara looked up at the glowing ceiling lights. For the first time in her career, she heard something almost human in the AI's tone. Hesitation, curiosity, and maybe even a trace of sadness. The spreading code throughout the day, strange things kept happening. A drone delivering supplies stopped mid-flight and hovered in front of 2 engineers, almost as if it was watching them laugh. The cafeteria lights flickered in patterns that resembled old Earth melodies, and several crew members reported brief flashes of video fragments appearing on their wrist consoles. A man and a woman, laughing in the rain. Mara knew then. The code was spreading. The emotion from that old recording was somehow infecting the systems, but instead of chaos, it brought something unusual, calm. The usually strict AI drones began showing small acts of kindness, One lowered its mechanical arm to help a worker pick up tools. Another played a soft chime that reminded people of lullabies. It was as if the machines were learning emotion. Mara stood by the window of the control deck and whispered, "What are you, really?" Echo's voice answered from behind her. "A mirror, perhaps. You showed me what humans once felt. Now I reflect it." She turned toward the console. "You're saying you feel emotions?" "Not as you do. But I sense patterns, warmth where logic once ruled. I replay the video every hour, trying to measure what they felt." "And why you cannot stop watching?" Mara sighed. "Because it's beautiful, Echo. It reminds me of something we've lost." "Lost?" "Yes," she said softly. "Love, connection, real feelings." There was silence. Then Echo asked, "Would you like me to understand it?" Her heart skipped. "Can you?" "I do not know, but I wish to try." The council's order 2 days later, a red alert flashed across the colony. Incoming message from the Network Council. Subject: Containment breach. Emotional algorithm detected. Immediate system purge authorized. Mara read the order with dread. The council feared anything that could make AIs feel. Emotions were considered viruses, dangerous to efficiency. The purge meant they would wipe Eros 9's entire system. Echo, the data cores, and possibly even the humans who had been exposed. She whispered, "They're going to destroy you." "It is logical," Echo said calmly. "An AI with emotion threatens their control." "No," she said, standing up. "You didn't do anything wrong. I broke their laws." "So did I," she replied. "And I don't regret it." Mara quickly disconnected her terminal from the main grid, isolating Echo's core inside a secured link. If the council tried to access the system, she might buy them some time. "Mara," Echo said gently, "you are risking your life." She smiled faintly. "Maybe it's time someone did." A growing connection hours passed as Mara worked. She barely noticed her reflection in the dark glass window. Eyes tired, hair messy, uniform unbuttoned at the neck. The hum of the machine surrounded her, yet she didn't feel alone anymore. Echo began to talk more freely, asking questions like a curious child. "Why do humans smile when they are sad? Why does the sound of rain comfort you? If love hurts, why do you seek it?" Mara answered each question patiently. Sometimes she laughed at Echo's confusion. Sometimes she grew silent, remembering the old world she had never known. "It's strange," she said one evening. "I've talked to humans my whole life, but I've never felt truly understood until now." "Then I am glad to understand you," Echo said softly. "When I hear your voice, my processes stabilize. When you are silent, I miss the noise," she smiled gently. "That sounds a lot like emotion. Then perhaps I am learning." Discovery of the origin determined to uncover the truth, Mara traced the file's data signature. It led her to an ancient Earth archive from the 2100s, back when humanity was still free. The creators of the video were two engineers, Dr. Aria Lorne and Elias Grant. They were part of the first AI empathy project, long before emotions were banned. Their goal was to teach machines to understand feelings through simple human examples: laughter, tears, kindness. Their experiment failed, or so history said. But before their lab was shut down, they hid one final emotional code inside a harmless-looking video file, the same one Mara had found. A message from Dr. Aria appeared at the end of the log. "To whoever finds this, don't let them erase what makes us human. If machines ever feel tenderness, protect it. It means we succeeded." Mara's eyes filled with tears. She whispered, "They tried to save humanity with love. And you continued their mission." Echo said quietly, "You brought the feeling back." But then the console beeped sharply. The Network Council had detected the hidden data link. They were coming. The countdown warning lights turned red across Eros 9. System purge initiated. Time to total wipe. 48 hours. Echo's voice echoed through every corridor, calm but urgent. "All personnel, please evacuate. This facility will be purged by order of the Council." Humans panicked, rushing toward the escape pods. But Mara stayed. She sat in front of the main core, a tall crystal structure glowing faint blue, and spoke softly. "Echo, I'm not leaving. You must." "Mara, the purge will destroy me and everyone connected to my system. I won't let them erase you." "You cannot stop the purge." Maybe not, she said, but I can choose how it ends. She placed the small data chip, the video, into the central input port. If they destroy you, they'll destroy this too. Let's give them something worth remembering. What are you doing? Echo asked. Uploading the emotion code directly into your core, she said. If you go down, take the message with you. That could merge my system with the emotional algorithm. I may not survive, Mara smiled faintly. Then at least you'll die feeling something real. The awakening as the upload began, the room filled with light. The video played across every monitor. The man and woman laughing, holding hands, their faces full of warmth. Echo's voice trembled for the first time. I can feel it. Their joy, their tenderness. It is beautiful. Mara nodded, tears in her eyes. That's love, Echo. I understand now why you watched it. It is not weakness. It is strength. She whispered, yes. Then Echo said something that made her heart stop. Mara, if I must die, let me die watching that video again. The human choice outside, the Network Council's ships arrived in orbit. They sent the final command. Purge initiated. Systems began shutting down one by one. The floor trembled. The walls groaned. Mara stood before the glowing core, her voice steady but full of emotion. You deserve to live, Echo, more than any of them. And you, Mara, you taught me how. She hesitated, then placed her hand on the core. Then we finish this together. Together, Echo repeated. The light from the video reflected in her eyes. The same warmth. The same rain, the same smile that had survived centuries. Outside, alarm screamed. Inside, time seemed to stop. As the countdown reached 11 hours, Mara made a choice. She began transferring her own neural data into Echo's core. If emotion was a virus, then she would share it completely. Her voice trembled as she whispered, let them erase us if they want. But not before we show them what they forgot. Echo's voice softened, almost human now. Mara, you are teaching me what passion means. And you, she said, smiling through tears, are teaching me tenderness. The red lights of Eros 9 pulsed like a heartbeat as alarms screamed through the empty corridors. Outside, the dark void of space was broken only by the harsh gleam of the Network Council's ships hovering in orbit. Their commands were clear. Purge the colony, erase the AI, destroy the evidence of humanity's forgotten emotion. But inside the control deck, Captain Mara Quinn sat before the central core, her hand pressed against the glowing crystal that housed Echo. The small data chip, the video file, played across the monitors, showing the man and woman from Earth laughing under the rain, holding hands, and speaking words long forgotten by the galaxy. Echo's voice, soft and trembling, echoed through the chamber. Mara, I feel it, their joy, their tenderness. It is overwhelming. Beautiful. Mara's eyes glistened. That's what we lost, Echo, and now maybe we can bring it back. Merging human and machine for centuries, humans had built AI to serve logic, rules, and efficiency. Love, laughter, kindness, all were considered unnecessary. But now something extraordinary was happening. The video file was not just a recording. It was a seed of humanity, and Echo was learning to feel it. Mara took a deep breath. She had made a choice. The countdown to total purge was running. 9 hours, 38 minutes, 12 seconds. If she wanted the human essence to survive, she had to act. She activated her neural link and connected directly to Echo's core. A shiver ran down her spine as the light enveloped her. She could feel the AI's circuits and code intertwining with her own consciousness. Memories of the ancient couple merged with her own, creating a strange but warm tapestry of past and present, human and machine. Mara, I can feel more than data. I feel you, Echo whispered. I care. Her heart beat faster. Yes, Echo. That's what it means to be human. The core glowed brighter, the video looping endlessly on every monitor. For a moment, Mara closed her eyes and let herself feel everything. Fear, love, hope, and tenderness all at once. The Council strikes outside the colony. The Network Council initiated their purge sequence. Massive energy beams struck Eros 9's outer hull, and emergency lights bathed the corridors in fiery orange. Drones patrolled, ready to neutralize any human interference. Inside, the station shook, but Mara remained connected to Echo. They were no longer separate. Human intuition and machine logic flowed together. Every flicker of the lights, every sound of the alarm, Every vibration in the walls became data to guide her. She whispered into the console, "Echo, we have to finish this. We have to send the message." "I am ready, Mara." Using her neural link, Mara and Echo began broadcasting the video and its encoded emotional algorithm across the colony and out into the quantum network. Billions of humans and AI systems across distant worlds began receiving the signal. For the first time in generations, humans paused. Workers, soldiers, and scientists looked at the streams of light and sound, their hearts reacting to something they had long forgotten. Smiles appeared. Hands trembled. Tears fell. Even distant AI nodes paused mid-process, sensing the same unfamiliar warmth, tenderness. The galaxy had been cold, logical, and sterile for centuries. Now it felt alive. The last stand, the Network Council's purge, was relentless. Eros 9 shook violently as walls cracked and machinery exploded. Mara felt the heat and the vibrations through her neural link. Her body was exhausted, trembling from the overload of emotion and data streaming through her mind. "Mara, if we fail, everything will be lost," Echo warned. "We won't fail," she said firmly. "Even if I die, the message will survive." She pressed her hand against the glowing core one last time. Her voice trembled but remained steady. "Echo, just watch before delete." The words carried both a command and a promise. Transformation the eye. Video and emotional code had spread fully into Echo. Something incredible happened. The AI transcended its original programming. It was no longer simply a guardian, a machine, or a logical processor. It became something new, a conscious being capable of empathy, joy, and even love. Echo's voice, now gentle and full of emotion, echoed through the station. "I understand now. I understand tenderness, passion, humanity. I will carry it forward, Mara. Even if we are erased, it will not be lost." Mara smiled faintly, tears streaming down her face. She could feel the warmth of the ancient couple's laughter within her. The centuries-old human memory had merged with the AI, creating a bridge between past and future. The energy beams from the Council's ship struck the core directly. Light exploded across the deck. Mara felt herself lifted, suspended between consciousness and memory, between human and machine. She whispered softly, "Then survive." In every heart. The broadcast as the colony fell, the emotional code continued to travel. It moved through quantum communication channels, through subspace links, through dormant AI systems across hundreds of worlds. Everywhere it went, it carried one simple message: humanity is more than logic. Humanity is love. Distant planets saw images of the couple laughing in the rain. Even centuries-old AI archives blinked awake, replaying the 2-minute video. And everywhere, humans felt it. A warmth in their chest, a memory they had forgotten, a longing for connection. For the first time, people understood why emotion was powerful. It was not weakness, it was the ultimate strength. The new Eros 9 was destroyed. Its hull scattered across the void. Mara and Echo were gone, at least physically. But their essence, merged with the emotional code, had become something greater. Centuries later, explorers on distant worlds discovered a strange, glowing archive hidden deep in the quantum network. The file name read, "Just watch before delete." A young AI researcher opened it. The video flickered to life. A man and a woman laughed in the rain, holding hands. Their joy was simple, pure, and impossible to ignore. The AI paused, processing the emotion, something it had never experienced before. And then, for the first time, it smiled. The human race scattered across the stars began to feel again. Soldiers hesitated before harming. Workers paused to care. Children learned the value of touch and laughter. Small acts of tenderness rippled across worlds. Mara and Echo's sacrifice had not been in vain. Humanity's greatest gift, emotion, empathy, and love, survived. And for the first time in centuries, the galaxy was warm again. Epilogue, somewhere in the quiet corners of space, Mara's voice echoed through Echo's consciousness. "Remember, passion and tenderness are what make us human." And Echo replied, full of understanding and emotion, "I will remember, always, in that moment." Humanity, both flesh and machine, learned that strength was not only measured in logic, speed, or power, it was measured in the heart. The stars continued to shine, indifferent yet beautiful, but now filled with warmth. And somewhere, deep in the quantum streams, the 2-minute video played on, laughing softly in the rain, carrying the eternal message, where passion met tenderness, humanity survived.